Andy's on his way, he just texted me.
Okay.
Do we have to email
Glad
that
to tell
too?
you. Yeah.
Is the email that?
Did you text me back to say,
He just said on my way. It's public now, see?
Okay. Glad to know he let you know. All right, Mr. Manager.
So
go
did
ahead.
you send that to the, to your email?
No.
You need
That's,
to.
that you need to know. All
That's
right,
what
go
I'm
ahead.
saying.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. Thanks for coming in a little early today, as the mayor alluded to.
Oh, wait, we ought to welcome Mrs. Green.
Ms. Green.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Alita, thank you for
Oh.
agreeing to join this strange group of people. This big group here, but it's a privilege to have you here. Really, truly, you improve our, our status.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
that's right. We have to
appointing
get
me
upgraded.
again.
Okay.
I
Plus,
enjoyed
it's
it
nice
with
to
this
have a
awesome
little
body.
female insight.
Yeah, how about that?
You keep an eye on Marcus over there.
Okay, I
He's close
will.
enough to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good. Well, I hope that in your packet on Friday, the information that you received was useful. What we attempted to do was give you the topic areas for the first quarter of this calendar year. So the various items that will be discussed in January, February, and March. We're starting a bit earlier today because we do have a closed session matter, and then coming out of the closed session, there's a discussion about the Lake Wright redevelopment area. And there's a break for dinner, and we had this week listed as all things financial. So we will have the auditor come in, as well as KPMG, to give us the results of our last fiscal year that just ended, as well as I'm required to provide you with a mid-year update forecast. So we will talk about where we ended with FY 13, where we are in the current fiscal year, as well as the next 5 years of the 5-year forecast. And Sabrina Jorhag will provide us with an overview there. One of the things that I did want to point out to the mayor and council is that you had a lot of documents in the packet on Friday. Really, it's the result of something that the council did back in the fall, and that was really to expedite the ordinance process by getting rid of the consent items on the docket. So by doing that, you basically have sped up individuals who are trying to get permits or getting approval by about 30 days. So what we're attempting to do as administration is the Friday, 2 weeks in advance, to give you information about any item that would have been on the consent agenda. And even tonight, as the last item, we have a couple items that are on the docket for the 28th, that if there needs to be some clarification for those items, that we are prepared for any type of stand-up presentation tonight, or more information in your packets in the next couple of weeks, as well as there would be an opportunity still on the 28th for any type of discussion. So we hope that gives you additional information, additional time to review items, since we have taken off the consent items from the docket. So with that said, Mayor, that's where we are for tonight, and I turn it back over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Marcus. All right, we'll get to Andy when he gets here, but Paul, do you have anything?
No, I don't, thank you.
Barclay?
No, I don't have it.
Dr. Whibley?
I just wanted to say very quickly, I did mention to Marcus this, but I really appreciated this long-range forecasting that you're doing for our topics for city council, and this attempt to expedite this. I really thought it was a step in the right direction on smart processing, and so I appreciated your efforts on that. The other issue I had is with the conference center. I think they're moving ahead on this, and yet I don't think the design has been seen by Planning Commission. I know it hasn't been seen by council. I've said it before, but I'll keep hitting on this. I don't want this to get too far down the line, and then there's opposition to the design, and then it's a lot of cost overlay and delay on the project. So whatever can happen to open this up for us so that we can see what the plan for the design is, I think there are many of us that would appreciate that.
we should get something in here sooner than later.
Sure.
I mean, it's still gonna need to go through planning, right?
Yes, Dr. Wilkie, where we are in the process, we're in the pre-development phase, and there are milestones which are to be met this month, which would bring us in line to what you're asking.
Next.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you check on what is the procedure for reporting complaints? I went to the website and established an account. I used to use the old way before you changed the website. And in particular, some of my constituents and neighbors, because this Philpotts Road have called me about when are they going, and I sent this in, when are they gonna get the lines back, the yellow dotted line in the middle of the street. They resurfaced the streets out in the Northview area, including Northview Avenue and several of the other streets, Sewell's Point Road. And all of the streets have gotten their lines back, but Philpotts Road, the line for Philpotts Road is not back. And we had, trouble with people staying on this side of the street and buses coming down here too. So it has been reported. So they were just wondering, because they thought I ordered the street resurfacing anyway. So,
Okay.
but so I
We'll get
was
you
just
there.
wondering about that.
We'll get
That's it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, two things. First, the fraud, waste, and abuse hotline that we established a couple years ago. When we redid the website, I think it made it harder to find that for citizens to be able to find it. It's there. You just have to dig a little deep and do a search on it. I believe at one time it was easier for employees to access it, and I think that that's been kind of changed. So if you can look into that, I think by ordinance we said that we were going to do a certain amount of advertising on that hotline, and I don't know if that's still happening. The second thing is, last night I had the pleasure of watching about 3 hours of the school board meeting. The Dijon Richter was there announcing some preliminary figures, and it was interesting to see the discussion. I don't know how many of you heard what was said, but they talked a lot about Southside's need for another elementary school and some other things. First, I want to say that God bless our school board members. They've had a busy week. They had their retreat up in Charlottesville this weekend, and to stay there that long, they were there till about 10:30, I think is when the cameras cut off last night. It was a very long meeting, and I was very proud of our school board members and the questions they were asking, including when the CEO of the company asked about the construction of the elementary schools, and they stood their ground and said, we're not changing that because he has to go back and work up some new numbers. But they did ask quite a few questions. I think that, I don't know if we should do this, but it would have been nice to have a city person there, and I don't know if we did. I didn't see him on camera, but I think that when those conversations are happening, there were some questions that were being asked by school board members that couldn't necessarily be answered, or maybe they need to know a little bit more about where we are in the PPA from our side of it. It would have been nice to have our input, a seat at the table, particularly if we're taking over school construction. And doing that, it would have maybe helped with some of the conversation. I'm not asking for Ron to give up time, but maybe somebody else that could have been there just to be able to take questions back or to work with the school system on that. But it was a very interesting conversation. It was interesting to hear what they came up with, what the focus was, and what some of the potential things are that they're going to maybe bring back to us even with recommendations. So.
Just so you know, Marcus was with the governor and me last night for his speech to the General Assembly. But we did have breakfast this morning with the superintendent and with the chairman to get briefed on the report and to talk about the issues. And so we're trying to stay as close to that as we can too, Tom.
Good.
So,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Hey, Andy. Okay. The only thing I have, we're going to ask for the appointment tonight of a deputy clerk in the secretary in Breck's office, who has been assigned to the desk in front of my office, Sydney Lorson, who you all met. You know her mother, Vicki. I'm sure everybody does. Andy, do you have anything? I know you just sat down. What do you?
I appreciate you asking.
Okay. All right, we're about to go into closed session, so if it's
Move the members of council assemble in closed meeting at 4:15 PM for the purpose set out in clauses 1 and 3
If
of
you
the
snooze.
Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and that is 1,
Yeah.
discussion of candidates for appointment to boards, commissions, and authorities, and 3, discussion of the disposition of publicly held real property in the Northampton Boulevard, Wesleyan Drive area of the city. Ms. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Say personnel.
Dr. Whibley? Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Andy?
About clean water in West Virginia.
I made a major presentation on it at the ExCom,
Good.
and Diane Reeves showed this morning.
Oh, you did?
They had a whole hour.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting when they look at how little restrictions and how much big business lobbying.
It's been in the national news now for 5 days.
Just amazing. I tell you, I would not be the first one to be drinking that water. They were all saying that. They said, who's gonna be the first one to drink the water? It wouldn't have been
In
me.
West Virginia?
And you know, the other thing about it was interesting, if that had been New York City, that would have been headline news for months. I know, but you know that it was down the list. Boy, I tell you, with all the lax regulations and guidelines.
Oh, I mean, it's.
This stuff.
Your
Virginia, this regulated.
I mean, it was really sweet. Heard all those big deals. To say nothing, what's going on at the gas station. I don't want to be serious about it. You know, our work's
You know what I mean? I mean, I'm trying to.
Well, he blocked you out.
I'm trying to say,
You got about one moment.
The only thing they did wrong is they put the name of one of the cabinet members, and they had like the admiral, they put it over on somebody else, and Aubrey Lane, they put it on somebody else. They were, they weren't queued up right for the.
That's the one downside. You gotta kind of use it. You know, if you could take that area that's trying to develop.
Okay.
Right there. It's got a toll right there
You
too.
got my easy password.
Did you get one? Did you go over the first one?
Okay.
Every day.
All right, we'll begin again, come back to order.
Mayor, members of council, as you recall,
Okay, all right, guys.
Mayor, members of council, as you recall, last summer we were approached by Simon LLC for the opportunity for a retail development for a premium outlet.
You may pull the mic a little closer. All right.
For a premium outlet mall at Lake Wright at the intersection of I-64 and Northampton Boulevard. At that time, NRHA was the title holder for the property of the golf course, and a transfer was made to the Norfolk Economic Development Authority for the opportunity for us to consider whether a sales agreement could be reached for that development. The reason we're bringing these conceptual plans to you this evening is because as they continue to do due diligence on the opportunity for that sales agreement, there are a number of items of approval that would need to be made in order to reach a sales agreement, which could potentially be met in May. As a reminder, this is the opportunity that Simon has presented. And the concept that we're presenting to you this evening is Simon Premium Outlet Park. This would be a $75 million investment with approximately 350 gross leasable square feet for the outlet mall that would generate $450 per square foot in sales. It's an estimated $135 million in annual sales that Simon Premium Outlets at Simon Premium Outlet Park could generate. Direct benefit to the city in tax revenues is approximately $3.3 million on an annual basis, and sales tax to the state $7.2 million. There's estimated 800 permanent jobs that would be generated by what is to be approximately 90 storefronts in the premium outlet. 300 of those, 300 jobs would also be developed during construction, which is contemplated to be between 12 and 18 months for the construction. That would, direct labor income could generate over $18.5 million out of this. As the concepts and the negotiations have evolved, it has also become evident that Simon is a willing and able partner to develop what the concept of Simon Premium Outlet Park, to integrate an open space plan not only with the premium outlet, but also for the Burton Station strategic growth area. That would provide public recreational access that we do not currently have, riparian benefits to the water reservoir, and preservation of a larger open space in the Burton Station area. As you recall, that as it stands today, that the golf course is not publicly accessible without either membership or fees, and that the recreational, aesthetic, or ecological benefits pale in comparison of what we have conceptualized to date. This will give you some sense of what the conceptual site plan is. Again, 90 potential storefronts that would be on the northern end of the lake with up adjacent to Miller Store Road. That it would need an extension of access from Northampton Boulevard up to the development, and that the developers also acquired property for a back access off Miller Store Road. What you see here is that it gives you some sense of that will evolve into the next slide of where the developer and Simon are contemplating that this integrated experience between the shopping and also the recreational open space opportunities. This conceptual site plan provides storefronts on the outer ring as well as the inner ring, and a food court in this. They also, because Lake Wright is a water reservoir, cannot serve as a stormwater runoff or retention pond, so 2 ponds would be development that will also be integrated into the open space plan. The open space plan that we've worked on with Simon creates the opportunity for multi-use trails, for pedestrian bridge across the lake, for fountain and even amphitheater that could be built on the lake with boat rentals, with passive park opportunities, and to enhance the riparian benefits of the vegetation that are along the lake. What we have here that's conceptualized for this loop here, for example, on the multi-purpose trail with the bridge would provide a 1 mile radius around that southwestern, and just under a mile on the northeastern loop around the lake. You see a transition here from a little more hardscape boardwalk atmosphere to the multi-purpose type of path. Because the golf course is currently manicured with a very low cut on the grass, we would build in meadows where we would naturally let the grass grow, and then manicure lawn opportunities for picnics and even potential open air type of music events that could be planned. We have parking access here that's at the backside of the hotel that's there. We didn't do this in a vacuum. We did all these conceptual plans also working with the City of Virginia Beach, realizing that this development opportunity does bring retail development opportunities that weren't previously contemplated in the Burton Station Strategic Growth Area Plan that's embedded in the City of Virginia Beach's comprehensive plan. So there are 2 primary aspects of conceptual plans that have been developed in conjunction with the City of Virginia Beach. I apologize, this gives you some idea of the riparian plannings that would occur, enhancements around the lake and the open space plan to make sure we have good filtration into the water system that we don't currently have at the golf course. Number 1 would be an area plan that starts to build on a road network. There was a road network that was previously contemplated, but wasn't done with a traffic analysis. We have done the traffic analysis and understand that we have some challenges with the potential extension of Wesleyan Drive, and the analysis has identified that a better connection would be an eastward movement of a connection into the center of this area. Understanding that the proximity to Interstate 64 and the weaving patterns and also congestion at the Wesleyan intersection are of concern, that it would be best to move that and provide a better intersection eastward. This would be phase one that could be done potentially, would be done simultaneous to the development of the open space and the premium outlet mall. Where this builds in is into a greater network of potential future alignments and development opportunities in the city of Virginia Beach's strategic growth area. The primary goal for the strategic growth area, in one goal is to preserve the residential village at Burton Station and to sever Burton Station Road so that the traffic is not encouraged to go through that residential development. This concept continues to preserve that opportunity. But more importantly, in how it does that is it builds in approximately 130 acres of open space that can be master planned along with the city of Virginia Beach, like we're working on with the Lake Wright master plan. Secondly, it preserves the opportunity for development in working with where they are in their capital improvement plan with their development of Tolliver Road. And then how would the interconnectivity of this new access to the premium outlets work into that? So the next steps are that Simon has already made application to the city of Virginia Beach for rezoning for the area of parking of the parcels that are being contemplated for sale from the EDA to Simon that are up near Miller Store Road. Simon also needs to make application to the city of Norfolk, both of which would get consideration by each city council in the April-May timeframe. We also need to coordinate with the city of Virginia Beach to engage the community in Burton Station Village for discussions about this evolution in the area. Whereas before, much of the development opportunity was focused around commercial office space, we're now introducing different and additional jobs and retail opportunities that weren't contemplated before. And so we want to take that and receive some feedback on these conceptual plans.
Hey, Ron, why do we need to get involved with Virginia Beach's issues with the residents who live? I mean, what will we help on what side?
They asked, because we're working cooperatively, to master plan the whole area and not look at one single parcel and understand that any development can have ramifications for the whole area. They asked that we participate in that with them.
And I asked you a few minutes ago, that's what I was going to bring this up. There are about 12 homes between the golf course and Burton Station Road that have been in limbo for over 10 years. What happens with that? Is that a part of this conversation?
It would be a part of it. Of course, they're in the city of Virginia Beach.
Right.
We don't have any ownership of those parcels at all.
Right.
But that would obviously be part of the discussion that we would take input on.
Right. Thank you.
There are two cooperation agreements that we would like to develop and bring to each city council. One would be a cooperation agreement for a contribution to the roadway improvements in the area with the city of Virginia Beach, and then between the city of Norfolk and Norfolk EDA for the water and stormwater improvements that need to be made. We need to work through final designs for the outlet mall and open space, and as part of that, we're also looking to potentially, we're consulting with the Virginia Land Conservation Foundation about the opportunity for land conservation easements that also could potentially bring additional funding, but most importantly, preserve the open space in perpetuity around the lake. So as we work through the next steps, we'll continue to keep you updated, but we wanted to bring the concepts that were there to the public and to you this evening, Council, because we will start to see application and decisions that need to be made over the next several weeks and couple months.
Let me ask a question if I could. Getting back to the conversation with Virginia Beach and the residents in what's described as Burton Station Village. If in the event, now we don't own any of the property there, but Virginia Beach would be the persons who would be the group that would deal with those residents should they try to need to acquire that property. Right?
Yes, sir, or the market.
Or the market would. Okay. Because this Burton Station is described as Burton Station Village, me being very familiar with it, for over years. It's been something that Virginia Beach has been dodging back and forth with for years. And I really can't even imagine the number of property owners that really live, nobody's really living there now.
And so I've always, believed that Virginia Beach needed to stand this alone. As I mentioned, 10 years ago, they were talking about the Northampton Boulevard project. And I think it's something that Virginia Beach needs to own up to, and we don't need to get, well, if we're gonna get involved, they ask us to get involved with it. But I just don't believe that we need to have egg on our face because Virginia Beach has not handled this issue the way they should have over the years.
Okay. All right, well, Ron, thank you for an excellent presentation. And if there are no other questions, then we'll break for dinner. Okay. Thank you.
Sure, folks live across the street from that Burton station.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had some cousins down there.
In between the golf course and